Okay, in this video we're going to look at the basics of ratio and what each bit stands for. On front of us we've got here a ratio mix for concrete. Now we can see the ratio and it can have as many numbers in this as we like as long as they are separated by these colons. This makes it a ratio. Now this ratio is read 2 to 3 to 7. Each colon we read as the word 2. Now for this particular ratio we've got concrete is made with cement to sand to water. So 2 parts are cement, 2 parts are sand, 7 parts are water. Now with ratio it is vitally important that we get the order of the numbers right. Imagine if I said, or just started mixing this up, and I did 7 parts of cement with only 2 parts sand and 3 parts water. That wouldn't give us the same consistency of concrete as we would get from this ratio. So when we're thinking about ratio questions, the order of the numbers that we put on the page has to be important and linked back to the original question. Now, with ratios, I tend to see them as just weird little fractions that have been written slightly differently. Let's look at this next one here. We've got a ratio 5 to 15. It could be for anything, I don't care what it is, as long as we're understanding that there's a ratio there. Now, with ratios, like we do with fractions, we can simplify them. So we're looking at both numbers and we go, what can I divide both 5 and 15 by? Well, 5 and 15 are both in the 5 times table, so I'm going to divide by 5. When I'm dividing by 5, I've got 5 divided by 5 is 1, 15 divided by 5 is 3, and remembering to put the colon in the middle. Now, my ultimate check to make sure I've got these in the right order is I'm going to say, well, the smallest number was on the front here, so the smallest number must be on the front on my answer. So, these two ratios are equivalent, and that is what we call a simplified ratio. Now, I've got a second example here. If you think you know what you're doing, then you can pause the video now, but I'm going to go through the answer anyway. So, we've got a ratio here 10 to 25, and I'm going to have a go at simplifying it. Now, looking at both these numbers, I'm trying to think of a number that goes into both of them. The number I think that's going into both of them, well, they're both in the 5 times table. So let's divide by 5 again. Well, 10 divided by 5 is 2. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And the colon in the middle. Now let's do my check just to make sure they're in the right order. 10 was the smallest number here. 2 is the smallest number here. Both at the front. Therefore, we are done. Now, I'm looking at my answer, just double checking, just to make sure I can't simplify it again. Can I simplify it again? Well, 2 and 5, they're both in the 1 times table. When it comes to ratios and fractions, when we're simplifying, being in the 1 times table is nothing special. So, that's it. We can't do anything more to this ratio. That's that ratio simplified. One final example here with slightly different numbers. Again, if you want to have a go first, pause the video now. But I'm going to start to simplify this ratio. So I've got the ratio 7 to 42. Now I'm thinking, which times table are they both in? Well, we've got, I don't know, 7 times table there. So let's try and divide by 7. 7's into 7. Well, that goes once. 7's into 42. That's 6. Colon in the middle. And then just to double check they're in the right order, smallest number. Therefore, this is simplified to its smallest forms. Now, you know for definite that this has been simplified completely because we've got a 1 here. Okay? If you ever get a 1 appearing in a ratio, that's it. You definitely can't simplify again. Okay? With these other ones, this 2 to 5 here, we would have to do a quick check just to make sure we can't do it. But these two examples we've got here, where there's a 1 there, we know we can stop. And that's the introduction to ratio. We've had a look at the order and how important it is to get in the right order, and we've had a quick look at simplifying our ratios correctly.